The first video is always the hardest. Every attorney I have ever worked with who ended up with a strong video presence says the same thing about getting started. The setup always feels awkward, the lighting is wrong, they watch the playback and they hate how they sound. They redo it 4 times and publish the one that is least bad. But they do it. They get through the first one, the second is easier, and by the 4th or 5th, they have found something close to their own rhythm. And then they stop. Not because the videos were bad, not because nobody watched them, because 3 months later, trial prep absorbed 2 weeks. A client emergency filled another week, and the recording session that was scheduled just never got rescheduled. 6 videos, last upload 4 months ago. This is not an unusual story. This is the story. It is the default outcome for attorney video marketing done the traditional way. And I want to spend the next 17 minutes being very honest about why this happens. Why it is a structural problem and not a discipline problem, and what the solution actually looks like right now. Because video is the most powerful trust-building tool available to legal marketing today. The attorney who figures this out and build a consistent video presence pulls away from competitors in ways that are very hard to replicate. And the attorneys who keep meaning to get back to recording are giving that advantage away every month. They do not. Let me start with why video matters so specifically in legal marketing. There is a kind of trust that only builds through repeated exposure to someone's face and voice. Not reading a bio, not seeing a 5-star review, not looking at a picture on a practice area page. Actually watching someone explain something in their own words. Hearing how they think through a problem. Seeing how they carry themselves when they are in their element. Psychologists call this parasocial familiarity. It's the same mechanism that makes you feel like you know a podcast host you've never met or a news anchor you've watched for years. Repeated exposure to someone's voice and face builds a sense of connection even when the relationship is entirely one-sided. In legal marketing, that mechanism is extraordinarily valuable because hiring an attorney is a high-trust decision made under stressful conditions. The prospective client is usually scared, dealing with something that feels overwhelming, and they're trying to determine whether this particular person is someone they can trust with something important to them. That evaluation normally takes time and direct interaction. Video compresses it. A prospective client who has watched 20 minutes of an attorney explaining their practice area before they call has already formed a relationship. They have assessed the attorney's communication style, their command of the subject, their approachability. They have decided before any direct contact whether this is someone worth trusting. So when they call, they're not in the early stages of deciding. They are close to decided. I consistently hear from attorneys using video that clients arrive at consultations saying some version of the same thing. I feel like I already knew who I was hiring. This is not a compliment about the call. It's a description of something that happened before the call. A relationship that content built while the attorney was in court or with another client. That is the power of video done consistently. And it's the thing most law firms are missing because they keep starting and stopping. Now, let me talk about why they keep stopping, because this is the part the marketing industry does not want to admit. The traditional model of attorney video marketing requires the attorney to periodically stop practicing law and sit in front of a camera. That requirement is incompatible with how law firms actually operate. Attorneys bill time. They carry cases. They absorb other people's crises. And when a deposition runs long, the recording session gets pushed. When trial starts, the whole month gets pushed. When a client needs something urgent, everything else waits. A content strategy that depends on the attorney's availability to produce content will fail the moment the caseload gets serious. And the most successful firms, the ones that could most benefit from a strong video presence, are often the busiest. They have the least available time. So this is not a discipline problem. It's an architecture problem. The traditional model is structurally incompatible with the reality of a successful law firm. The recording sessions keep getting canceled not because attorneys do not care about marketing, because they have cases. So the solution is not better scheduling. The solution is removing the attorney from the ongoing production process. And that is what changed most recently, because AI video technology has crossed a threshold. Not the generic AI video tools you can find with a Google search, not the stock avatar reading a script in a synthetic voice that looks and sounds like every other AI video on the internet. I'm talking about technology that starts with the specific attorney. Their face captured in a single recording session. Their voice modeled from that captured. Their natural cadence and phrasing, and the way they examine things when they are in explaining mode rather than performance mode. From that capture, you build a video avatar and a voice model that are specific to that attorney. And from those, you can produce an ongoing stream of content. New topics, new scripts, new formats, without the attorney ever sitting in front of a camera again. Now, this is not theoretical. I've seen the output, and the quality is professional. The face and voice are recognizable by the attorney, and the content sounds like them because it's modeled on them. And the prospect who watches it has the same experience as watching a traditionally recorded video. The familiarity still builds, the trust builds, and the consultation arrives warm. Let me describe the process in concrete terms for you right now. It starts with a single capture session. 5 minutes. The attorney sits with the production team or in their office, speaks naturally about their practice and their clients and how they approach their work. It's not a script. It's a conversation designed to capture how the attorney actually communicates when they are comfortable and in their element. From that single session, 2 things get built. A video avatar, a rendering of the attorney that looks and moves like them, and a voice model, an AI voice trained on the attorney's actual speech patterns, not a generic synthesized voice. That means before a single piece of content is produced, the content strategy is built. SEO research, real questions pulled from search behavior and intake patterns, scripts written for the firm's specific practice areas and targets clients, a publishing calendar that maps content to specific objectives. Then the system produces new videos each month, short form social clips, long form YouTube content, practice area explainers for the website, retargeting content, all in the attorney's face and voice, all published according to the schedule, all without the attorney's ongoing involvement. The recording session already happened. There is nothing to reschedule. Now, let me address the question I know a lot of you are thinking. Will clients notice it is AI? And does that hurt their trust? So here's my honest answer. The content is built from the actual attorney, their face, their voice, their communication style. A prospect watching it is watching the attorney, a rendered version of them, delivering content developed by the strategy team. It's not a generic character, it is the attorney. The question of whether clients will eventually understand that AI production systems are a common content tool is a real one, but we are already there in other media. Voiceover narration, ghostwritten articles, produced social media. The mechanism is the content, not the production method. What builds trust is whether the content is genuine, whether the attorney actually knows what the video is saying, whether the expertise displayed is real. For a well-built AI video system, the answer to all of those is yes. And practicality here, the attorney whose clients have seen this content describe consultations that start from a different place. The client already knows who they're talking to. The trust is already there. The relationship started before the first call ever happened. This is the outcome, not because the technology is perfect, because the content is built for a real person and it does the trust building work that video is supposed to do. Let me close with the compounding effect that makes this worth understanding at a strategic level. A law firm with a consistent video presence after 18 months has something very specific. They have a library, 30 or 40 or 50 pieces of content, each one answering a specific question, each one building familiarity with the attorney, each one working to bring in and warm up prospective clients. A library is different from a playlist. Every piece of content in that library is still working. That video you published 14 months ago about what to expect in a divorce mediation is still being watched today by someone who searched that topic. Still building trust, still driving consultations. That is compounding, and it is genuinely difficult for a competitor to replicate quickly. The firm that published 6 videos and stopped has a playlist that stopped. The firm whose system kept running has a library that grows every month and works harder every month. The traditional model produces playlists. The right architecture produces libraries. And libraries are what win.